changed in an instant. I was prepared to marry Peter Emsley, happy in my sated comfortability, totally ignorant of the heat and desire that can devour a person. When William and I arrived at the inn last night, I didn't care that the room smelled of mildew or that it was cold and damp. We did not bother to light a lamp or the fire. I could not speak a single word as he pulled the curtains closed and drew me to him. He was not hurried about it, but slow and methodic, peeling each garment away before easing me backward onto the bed. I shook uncontrollably as he drew his hands along the inside of my thighs, thrilled and terrified, grateful for the darkness as inexplicable tears sprang from my eyes and rolled over my temples, wetting the tops of my ears. William kissed my tears, licked them with the tip of his tongue, as he pressed himself into me with a shock of pain and pleasure. I clawed his back as the rain thundered outside like a million horses were trampling down the earth. When he stopped moving against me, a pungent odour rose from the sheets, and his breath came hot and quick against my shoulder. The room was utterly black. In my blindness, every sound was magnified. The thrash of rain against the window, our breath rising, the creak of the bed, the blood pounding in my ears. William rolled away and lit the candle on the nightstand, his blue eyes flaring into view.
"You are so lovely,"
he said.
"I want to look at you."
Embarrassed, I pulled a pillow over my face as he yanked the quilt off of me, and a chill hit my naked body. "William, don't!" I tossed the pillow aside and scrambled for the quilt, but he held it out of reach, eyeing me devilishly. Completely undone, I flipped over on my stomach and buried my head into the mattress. "I'm cold," I said, my voice muffled. The quilt came down with a burst of air that sent goosebumps up the back of my neck. William's warm body pressed against me, one leg wrapping over mine. I wanted to slide under him, to feel the weight of him again.
"I have never known you to be shy,"
he breathed in my ear. I shifted onto my side, his face so close I could feel his breath on my lips. "Only in front of you." I traced a finger along his jaw, and he bit the tip of it.
"Never in front of Peter Emsley?"
I yanked my hand away. "Why would you ask me that?"
"It is not an entirely unreasonable question. You were engaged for 6 months.
"Are you implying that I laid with him?" I sat up, drawing the blanket over my bare chest. I did not like to think of Peter. I had broken off our engagement abruptly, thoughtlessly, and without regret. My mother said it was the most heartless thing I had ever done. I told her I hadn't meant to be cruel. I was trying to be honest, something my father instilled in me.
"Tell the truth at all costs,"
he'd told me. Better that Peter have it straight, I thought. That's what I would have wanted. William slid off the bed.
"I didn't ask if you ever laid with the man. Simply if he ever made you feel shy."
He strode naked across the room, picking his waistcoat up off the floor and pulling a small silver snuff box from the inside pocket. I had never seen a naked man before, and despite the confidence with which he stood sniffing a pinch of tobacco completely exposed, his pale, taut, sinewy body looked vulnerable to me. "If by that you mean did I care for him," I replied, "I will answer truthfully and say that yes, I did care for him once." William clicked the box shut, tossed it onto the night table, and jumped back into bed, pulling the covers loose from my legs and crawling under them.
"I am asking if you ever loved him."
William had the same look on his face that he had the night I met him when a guest at the dinner table challenged him on the truth of a certain fact he wrote in the Beaumont Man. He looked childlike, hurt, and slightly bewildered, as if he didn't know what it was to defend himself. I slid down and wrapped my arm around his hairless chest. Finding his hand, I wove my fingers in between his and laid my head on his breast. "I have never loved anyone but you." I considered asking.